Hi guys, so welcome to the Fearless Weekly Energy Update. We're going to look into what's happening starting with yesterday's energy and go all the way through Saturday's energy, Saturday the 31st. I hope you guys are doing really well. This week is going to be kind of an up and down week. There are going to be some really good days. There are going to be some kind of neutral days, and then there's going to be like some crazy energy sort of days. Really quick before I forget, I do have a few more spots to fill in November for the 6-month January through June 2021 personal forecast reading. So I don't know if you guys recall from last year, even the general readings were really just like crazy accurate. So I wanted to be able to offer the personal ones. It's actually $10 cheaper this year. So if you would like to get your pre-order, you also get December's energy for yourself. So you get December, January, February, March, December of 2020, and then January through June of 2021. That information, you can schedule it directly below. It is a recorded reading, so I will record it and send it to you. But on my scheduler, you can block out a time to put on my calendar for my own reference. That doesn't mean that you guys have to be there during the live or anything like that. It is a recorded reading. So there are only a few spots left and this is like the last time I'm going to be offering it with December. And I don't even know if I'm going to be offering it anymore after this. Like, we'll see if I decide to offer some more in December, but I want to be able to do the general readings as well. So that information is in the description box, the link directly to that. Okay, this week. So yesterday we had the Sun in Scorpio, Mercury in Scorpio, and they joined in Scorpio, and it's called a cazimi. And with that cazimi, it's almost like this really amazing portal where we have these aha moments, and there's a lot of luck and a lot of progress that comes out of cazimis like that. And so that sort of set the tone for the rest of this week. So all of the realizations that you've been having the last couple of days, or maybe even since Friday and leading up to yesterday's cazimi in Scorpio, there's a really good chance and a really good opportunity for things to start really falling into place for you as we move along. There's going to be today, the moon is in Pisces today, so it's kind of quiet. This is sort of like a preparation kind of day. There's not really a lot going on. The moon is sextile Uranus, which isn't that big of a deal, but it does give us the opportunity to integrate all of the realizations and all of the things that we want to do for ourselves and to continue to move forward on. It's really cool. It's snowing here in Kansas City. So I have my windows open and the snow is falling down. So it's really neat to be able to watch it. So if you keep seeing me like look up that way, I'm actually looking at the snow. So today's really all about preparation. Today's about moving forward and preparing ourselves for the coming energy coming up, because there are a lot of changes. Nothing will be the same after Saturday, after Halloween. Nothing's going to be the same, because there will be some pretty... It's not going to be like, it doesn't have to be negative. It doesn't have to be catastrophic. It doesn't have to be negative. But it's a change. It's a really big change. It's a really big shift. And if you have been settling more than you should be settling, or you're in a space where you're just a little bit too comfortable, this week is going to show you that. And it started yesterday with the cazimi. Okay, so tomorrow, Tuesday, the moon is in Pisces, and it's going to be joining Neptune, sextiling Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn. So these are really big emotional realizations that we're having. Tomorrow is going to be an awesome creative day. Like, use your imagination, let yourself run wild with your imagination. A lot of optimism, a lot of new ideas coming out of this moon in Pisces. This moon in Pisces transit, like I'm actually getting goosebumps. This moon in Pisces transit, this time around is really allowing us to actualize some dreams that we've been having, like, and maybe even some actual dreams that you've been having. But there are situations in your life that you have to really allow yourself to dream a little bit bigger and not stay in your comfort zone. And so tomorrow is going to be a good time to start with some new ideas, to allow the optimism to flow, to allow the creativity to flow. We also have Mercury regressing, retrogressing, if you will, retrogressing back into Libra tomorrow, pretty late in the evening. And we also have Venus moving into Libra. So we have Venus ingressing into Libra, and we have Mercury retrogressing into Libra tomorrow. And it's like within 5 minutes time frame, and it's going to be late tomorrow evening. And so Venus is going to be home, and eventually Venus will be squaring off with Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn all in Capricorn, but that's going to be later down the road a little bit in November. But just Venus just being in its home sign of Libra is a really big opportunity for us to find that balance, you know, like where Libra season, we didn't really have a lot of balance, and there was a lot of changes and shifts and everything that was going on. And it was like, nothing is really balanced right now in Libra season. And so we're almost getting like a redo. We're almost, with Mercury retrogressing back into Libra, we're getting this opportunity to find that justice that we didn't have before. We're getting this opportunity to find that balance and that sense of stability that we have really, like this whole year, we've really been missing a lot of balance and a lot of stability, and not necessarily like allowing ourselves to dream as big as we want to, because we're really afraid of like, what's tomorrow going to bring, or like, what the fuck is going to happen if I decide to make this decision, or what the fuck is going to happen if I decide to make this decision. So the beginning of this week is really giving us an opportunity, especially with this moon in Pisces, giving us this opportunity to dream in ways that we haven't really been allowed to since much earlier this year. So, and you know, Venus being in her home sign, she's just going to be a happy little camper for a little while. And so for those of you, like, look in your chart where Libra is, and you'll be able to find how Venus is going to, this Venus transit will be affecting you. Like, I have Libra in my first house because I'm a Libra rising. And so Libra in my first house with Mercury and Venus there, like, this is glow up time, baby. Like, let's do, like, Libra risings are getting this opportunity to balance themselves out, which is something like, we just want everybody to get along. We just want everything to go well. We want everything to be like smooth sailing, and it's not always smooth sailing, but we also want justice and peace and acceptance and all of that as well too. So this Venus, you know, Venus feels really good in Libra, and you know, it's going to be a really quick pursuit while she's there, but man, she's going to be happy while she's there until we get to the square to Saturn and Pluto. But nonetheless, right now she's going to be happy, and we need to take advantage of that. Okay, so Mercury in retrogressing into Libra. This is really where the delegating is going to start, where we had to uncover all of the gunk, all of the grossness while Mercury was retrograde in Scorpio, while Mercury was in Scorpio. And we'll have to do it again when Mercury goes direct in Libra on November 3rd and goes back into Scorpio. And it doesn't go, she doesn't go back into Scorpio on November 3rd. She goes back, or he goes back into Scorpio on the 10th of November. Had to look at my notes there. So, you know, now is the time to look at all of those plans that you have been making. You know, we always talk about how we don't want to do new things while Mercury's in Scorpio, but now is the time to be really like find the justice in all of the pain. You know, allow yourself to delegate things, allow yourself to do the can't we all just get along kind of stuff right now, because that's really what the world needs. And as we move up to Saturday and all of these changes are happening in this world, and all of these really big shifts are needing to occur in the world, we're getting an opportunity to find that balance in our life right now and find that peaceful acceptance of where we are and not try to make it any more than it actually is. You know what I mean? It's like a lot of us have been living in survival mode all year long. A lot of us have been living in survival mode in one way or another. Some people have always lived in survival mode, so this year was just kind of like I guess this is what we're doing, right? But not everybody has been like that. Some people had like the shocks of their lifetimes. And so giving yourself the opportunity to rest, to reassess some situations, to reassess some friendships, to really look deeply at the aspects of how you are balancing your energy with other people and how other people aren't allowing you to balance your energy, and where you need to kind of do that cleanup stuff, right? With that kind of imbalance, if you will. Wednesday, yes, we're only to Wednesday. Wednesday, the moon is in Aries, and the moon will automatically oppose Venus while it's in Aries. And this is, you know, Aries moon is very direct. It's very honest. It can be a little bit aggressive sometimes. Excuse me. But a moon in Aries does not, they don't beat around the bush. I don't know if you've ever met an Aries moon before, but I love me some Aries moon people. I love Aries rising. I love Aries moon. I love Aries sun too, but Aries sun can be a little bit aggressive sometimes. But Aries moon people are, they're very quick, right? And it's like, they're very direct, very straight to the point. This is what I want. No cutting corners kind of thing. Like this is what's happening. And so when we're opposite Venus, this is like, what do you emotionally want in life? What is it that you actually want to see your life look like? How do you want things to be created in your existence? And how are you holding yourself back from that? How are you allowing, you know, are you speaking your truth? Are you speaking your emotional truth and not just the logical side of stuff? Because coming from that Pisces moon, we're all feeling really good and really flowy and having a lot of new ideas, and boom, that Aries moon hits. And all of a sudden, we just want to charge forward and say what we need to say and get what we need, you know. So try not to bulldoze people during the Aries moon phase. There's going to be a lot more impulsivity that's happening during this Aries moon phase. Thursday, the moon joins Mars, which is still retrograde in Aries. And this, you know, we've kind of gotten used to this by now, right? So Mars has been in Aries since June, and we've really allowed ourselves to get used to having Mars in Aries and having the moon in Aries. So, but this time it's square Jupiter, so there's really going to be an aggressive, over exuberant, exhausted, like it's very bipolar. It's very big opposites, right? You're going to have a whole bunch of energy, and then you're not going to have any energy, and then you're going to have a whole bunch of energy and then not have a lot of energy. So I think the biggest thing with this moon in Aries phase for everybody is to really pay attention to how you're feeling, because the more tired you are, the more aggressive you're going to be. The more like physical exhaustion you have, the harder it's going to be for you to express yourself. And with this, and Mercury is still retrograde. Yes, it's in Libra, and so it's a little bit softer than it is in Scorpio. It's in Libra now, but there's still, you know, those aspects that we're going to have. Mercury squaring Saturn, which we're leading up to, right? So, you know, having that harsh Mercury square Saturn aspects later on, you know, a couple days after this Aries moon, there are some very strict things that you're really going to have to pay attention to. And if your physical form is exhausted, you're not going to be able to do it. Your mental is going to fail. Your physical is going to fail. So pay attention to how you feel this week. That's why I said it's going to be like up and down, like the roller coaster of all the things that are happening. So Thursday, when the moon joins Mars retrograde, and then it's squaring Jupiter. Jupiter's in Capricorn. One of these days I am going to actually like have the wheel up so you guys can see the chart while I'm talking. I just am not prepared to do that quite yet. So, but this is like really a time for us to reset ourselves with what's not working as we're leading up to the Taurus full moon, which, happens on, a couple of days after Thursday. But this is like allowing us to have a reset. This is allowing us the opportunity to see how we've been doing things up until now that haven't been working, and resetting ourselves to, kind of like I almost want to say it's kind of like a clock, like we're resetting our clocks. You know how we have daylight savings time here in the States, and we will be setting our clocks back. I don't think it's this week. I don't know if it's this Sunday or if it's next. I think it's next Sunday, but I haven't even looked. Like, I wish there wasn't even a daylight savings time. It's so annoying. But it is, it's like resetting the system. It's resetting the clock. It's allowing ourselves to do a double take, like what has not been working up until now, because this whole year has been showing you what needs to change, what's not working, where do we need to flow, where do we need to let things go, let things go. And I'm not Dr. Seuss, I promise. So Friday we have the moon is still in Aries early morning, and we have the moon squaring Saturn and opposite Mercury. These are going to be really hard and fast decisions. So like everything that you're trying to figure out and everything that you're resetting from Thursday, we get into Friday morning and it's going to be like boom, boom, boom. Like everything has a place, everything has an opportunity, everything has, we all have a certain stance and situation that we want to be in, and how we're going to be creating that. And so we're going to have some super hard and fast decisions that we need to make on Friday. And so allowing the energy to flow and allowing the space for that energy to flow is going to be a really big deal. And then later on in the day, the moon shifts into Taurus on Friday. So we're leading up to that full moon, which happens really, really, really early morning on Saturday. So like the full moon in Taurus will be conjunct, full moon is opposite the sun, right? And it will be conjunct Uranus, and there is no stability. So we have Taurus is the sign of stability, right? So we have the full moon in Taurus. Taurus is the sign of stability, but with Uranus there is zero stability. Uranus is about innovation. Uranus is about leveling yourself up. It's about doing things differently. And so having this Uranus in Taurus all this time, we've had a lot of really strange weather that's been happening because, Taurus is the king of the environment. But there Earth days during Taurus season, there is no coincidence there. But really, things are going to shift in huge ways with this full moon. And there's going to be a Mercury squaring Saturn. So the full moon's going to happen, and we will have that full moon energy all day long. And then we have Mercury squaring Saturn, which is also going to be all day. And that Mercury squaring Saturn is like checks and balances, man. Every single thing that you do is going to have an opposite reaction to it. Every single thing. The way that you perceive the world is going to look different on Sunday, because you're going to have that really in your face opportunity to, people are just going to be showing their true colors, and people are going to be, being extra, being the most. And a lot of the times the reasons why that happens is to trigger us to recognize whether we're in a good position or whether we placed ourselves into a bad position. So being really, really aware. I'm literally seeing people needing to make sure that they have, have protected themselves, whether they're protecting their energy, whether they're protecting their physical form. I think that with Venus being in Libra and Mercury being in Libra, we're all sort of trying to come to terms with where we are when it comes to the virus and when it comes to the election. And this full moon in Taurus happening just 4 days before the election, something big is going to happen. I feel like something's going to break down. Something's going to, I don't think it's going to explode. Like, the world's not going to explode. This is not the apocalypse. This is not the end of the world. That's not going to happen. But I do think that there is going to be something pretty dramatic that changes the course of what the election looks like, that changes the course of what this virus looks like, that changes the course of everything that we've been doing this entire year. It's almost like this full moon, we've been leading up to this full moon. And once we hit this moment, and it's not going to happen right in that moment, obviously, it's not going to happen, but the energy is going to be really strong and it's going to be pretty heavy. So being extra careful with who you are placing your own safety with, that's kind of a big deal. And yeah, so this is about receiving justice. This is about all of the rules and regulations and the blockages. And, you know, Mercury squaring Saturn is like, every single time you try to do something, like, you know, you fix your car and then something else breaks, or you know, if you're trying to buy a house, you can't seem to get the right wording on the documents, or you can't get the right documents, or like there's something that's really, really frustrating that we're trying to break through. This is like us trying to break through all of the blockages and everything. And so really saying, okay, whatever happens, happens, and I'm okay with whatever's going to happen. I think that that's going to be probably the biggest break that you can give yourself. Okay, so that's the energy for the stars that we have this week. Let's look at some cards. I have not shuffled cards for a couple of days, so this is pretty cool. Like giving yourself a rest like that for a few days and then getting right back on it. Everybody needs that rest right now, I feel like. Ooh, okay. Maybe I need to move my notebook. Okay. So I feel like there's a lot of knowing. It feels like there's a lot of knowing. Feels very stable right now. This week is going to start off really stable, and it's going to start off really creative, and then we're going to have kind of that switch up towards the end of the week where we get a little less balanced and a little more direct. Where the pendulum may swing a little too far to the right or a little too far to the left, and we're not right in the middle anymore. But overall, I think that there's going to be a winning aspect to this week. I mean, if we could be all could be like a healthy Charlie Sheen and just be like winning, but who knows. Four of Wands. Then we have the High Priestess. And we have the Queen of Swords. So there's that Libra energy that we really like. Then we have the Death card. And we have the Six of Wands. So I feel like, you know, this is like Scorpio season trying to give us a win, right? This is sort of like rising above the negative energy, allowing ourselves to super transcend what's happening in our existence, in our world, in our existence, but also creating from a place of transition, creating from a place of change and transformation, and the phoenix rising from the ashes, and everybody is sort of like rising to the occasion right now, is what it feels like. But having that stability and knowing at the same time really allows you to be able to make decisions. The Queen of Swords is somebody who can make those decisions quickly because she has all the information already. She brought all the information in already, and she already got it all together. And she did it behind the scenes, so nobody really saw her do it, but it all sort of laid out really well. So let's see what this Four of Wands stability looks like. This is about happiness. This is about family and coming together and acceptance and feeling stable. Oh, okay. And with the Ten of Swords, you know, it's interesting. The Ten of Swords is always a twofold card for me. the Ten of Swords for me, part of it is going to the worst possible case scenario. You know, if you're in a really stable place right now and you're feeling really, really good, but you're every once in a while you go to that place where you're just like, man, is everything just going to fall apart? Am I like in a place right now where everything is just sort of, you know, like it's almost too good to be true, right? So sometimes the Ten of Swords can be too good to be true, but sometimes the Ten of Swords is also saying that the worst is over. You've already been through all the bullshit. You've already been through all of the pain and all of the heartache, and a 10 is a completion. We're no longer doing that, right? You had to get through the muck to find that stability. You had to get through the pain and the sadness and all of that deep hurt, right? In order to find that stability, in order to get to there. If you're finding your mind wander this week to the negative, remind yourself how far you've come, and remind yourself that it doesn't have to be total chaos, and also allowing yourself to see things in the real way, right? Really have that sense of reality. That Tower is about evolution, and the Page of Swords is about saying the truth and being really honest about it. The High Priestess is your intuition. The High Priestess is the Pisces moon, right? And so as we move further and you do say specific things to people, or you really open yourself up about stuff, because this week, the Aries moon is really going to be something, that's for sure. Because everybody will be speaking their truth, you know what I mean? And sometimes when we speak our truth, we can hurt other people's feelings very easily. So being extra cautious that you aren't saying things purposefully to hurt other people, that's probably a pretty good idea. But, you know, it's funny because we have the Ten of Swords and we have the Tower, so this could be a pretty difficult week for some people. Or it could be a week of great evolution, and it could be a week of great change. This Taurus moon is sort of spinning everybody around and dropping us on our heads and making us look at things in a different way so that we can level up. And that's what the Tower is all about. It's about evolution. It's about leveling up. It's about allowing ourselves to release the things that are no longer serving us. That Tower was built on a foundation that was not stable. It wasn't steady. It wasn't stable. And a steady, stable foundation isn't necessarily just something that's planned out. A steady, stable foundation is something that you feel within yourself. A steady, stable foundation, you know, is something that you create. You know, you don't just happen upon it. It's something that takes time. And, you know, it's like pressurizing a coal to make into a diamond. It takes time and pressure to make a diamond happen. And that's what the Tower is coming along and saying to you. And some of you are with this High Priestess here. It's funny because I'm trying to figure out how this is working out in my life as well at the same time, which I rarely ever do that during card reading. So I feel like I'm having to pay attention to the same messages that I'm giving to you guys. But with this High Priestess, there are certain things that are happening right now that we are very psychically in tuned about. So if you do have some fears about some things, I want you to ask yourself, is this warranted? Should I really be looking into this fear more? Or is this something that I don't necessarily have to put a lot of clout into? Is this something that I'm creating in my own mind? The difference between the two is the reality that you're living in. If you have set yourself up for disaster, obviously your instincts are going to make you feel like, oh wow, I know something negative is going to be coming along. If you've set yourself up to feel like you can flow with the energy, so no matter whether there's good or bad things that are happening, it just is what it is, then they're, you know, really listening to your instincts this week this is going to be a very instinctual kind of week, a very psychically in tuned and instinctual kind of week. And yes, some of us are having to get really honest with ourselves about what's not working right now, and that's what this is. Because you've known for a long time, you've been feeling the feelings with this high priestess for a long time, and now it's just going to be apparent, and now it's just going to be in your face and how things are going to go. So we have the Queen of Swords. Don't try and control it. And I do feel like with this Aries moon that's coming up later on in the second half of the week, there might be some pretty harsh words that are said. But with the Emperor on the Queen of Swords, don't try and force it. Don't try and create more than, you know, allowing yourself to remember that the universe is working for you and not against you. And you know, while you're manifesting things, manifest from a place of what's the best for me, what's the best part of this for me, and not from a place of what's going to, you know, how does it look to other people, or you know, is this going to make my status look better, kind of thing. But really asking yourself, what's the best for my soul, and not trying to control the energy by saying the things, but allowing yourself to flow through the pros and cons of that tower. Because that tower energy, yes, it can be really, really hard, but it's also something that's necessary, because we don't want to build on a flimsy foundation. We want to have something that's stable and grounded and secure and long term, right? We want the foundation that we're building on to last, you know. But every single time you get too comfortable in a place that's not for your best and highest good, the universe is going to come along and be like, nope. But that's really cute that you thought that was going to be the way to do it. So let's see what this Death card is, because the Death card is the same as the Tower in my mind, right? It's the Phoenix rising from the ashes. It's what must die will also be reborn. And damn, the Fool on the Death card. You will probably have to take some risks that you're not necessarily 100% comfortable taking, but at the same time, you're getting this opportunity to have everything wiped out so you can start over again. Like, what better place to be in than a total clean slate? You know what I mean? Like, you're getting the opportunity to start over. You're getting a reboot. You're getting a leveling up. And it's not that everything is going to fall away. It's not that your entire life is going to be gone. But for a lot of us, we're going through, I mean, to me, this almost looks like some of you are going through a spiritual awakening right now and having some aha moments. That was me 4 years ago. And when I went through my awakening and I was super, super fast tracked into being, you know, who I truly am supposed to be in this lifetime, it wasn't easy. It was really, really hard. But every single step that you make and every single choice that you make and every single decision from here on out is something that is being created for your best and highest good. And when you allow yourself to say, okay, that was taken away from me because it wasn't for my best and highest good. The universe is protecting me right now. The universe is allowing me to see things from a different perspective right now. I really need to pay attention. And you start looking at it that way, there's this huge opportunity to win, right? So with the Six of Wands, we're getting to that opportunity of wanting to win. We're getting to that place in our lives where we're rising above all of the challenges. And we're saying, you know, this is the way that I'm going to create from here on out, and I'm not going to allow anybody else to stand in my way. There is a sense of control that you can gain, but you're in true control of your life, and you're in true control of everything that you're doing. Oh, look at that. The Queen of Pentacles is at the bottom of I love when she shows up, says the Virgo. But having this King of Wands on the Six of Wands, the King of Wands is somebody who is charismatic and he knows what he wants and he goes for what he wants, and nothing can stop him short of himself. he can stop himself, but when it comes down to it, he has this huge success rate, we'll put it that way, especially if he's living authentically with who he is, right? So whether you're taking on this Queen of Swords energy where you really want to be controlling, or whether you're taking on the the King of Wands energy where you just want to succeed and you want to rise above and you want to be the champion, right? You want to be everybody's champion is basically what that King of Wands is. There's this newness, there's this wiping out, and it's all happening in 1 week. It's like wiping out of old energy and bringing in all the new energy all at the same time. And I don't want to say that to scare you guys. This week is not scary. In fact, most of the week is probably going to be quite pleasant. And then we get to, you know, it's just this full moon that's happening this weekend. And it really depends on how you react to the energy. You don't have to buy into the heaviness. You don't have to buy into the negativity. You know, if you have been moving right along and you've been really honest with yourself and you've been really honest with other people, and you've been integral in your journey and where you're going, you know, through all of this stuff, there's a really big chance that this full moon is going to reveal a lot of amazing opportunities for a lot of people. But for some of us, we're still sitting on some pretty unstable ground. And so that's where we have to be real. That's where we have to get honest with our lives. And, you know, if there are things that we're doing and you intuitively are already, or you're already feeling like, I know the things that I need to change, don't wait. Don't wait for the energy to change it for you. You change it for you. That's the difference. When you change the stuff for yourself, instead of waiting for the energy to change it for you, everything just sort of falls into place. You see? So I do have some reading openings next week. I have some Akashic reading openings. I have some astrology reading openings. I have some tarot readings openings. I have actually a lot of time open next week if you guys want to have a quick reading, or like if you need to have something done pretty quickly. My schedule is pretty open next week. So get on that. All of that information is in the description box. You can schedule directly on my calendar. I love you guys. Take care of yourselves. And if you need anything from me, drop me a line on Instagram, on Twitter, Facebook. Oh, and come join us on the memberships. So much fun. You get a lot of extras being a member of this channel. You get daily energy updates most days. I take like 1 or 2 days off during the week to do energy updates, but most days you get energy updates. We do group Reiki, distance Reiki sessions. We do meditations. In fact, we're going to be doing a meditation on Sunday, the day after the full moon. So if you just feel like you need to have a little bit of extra love and support during this time, come join us. We would love to have you. All of that information is in the description box. I love you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me for the last 40 minutes. And I'll see you really soon to finish up the general readings. Bye.